The last of the cars are pulling up to the grid. Here's your lineup. On the pole, Timmy Hansen for Peugeot Sport. Next to him, Johan Kristoffersson, RX Volkswagen, Sweden. Ignore the new and the wet, it's new wets and used wets. Andreas Backerud and Sebastian Loeb on row 2. The Audi in the mix, the second of the Peugeots there. And then on row 3, of course, we've got Petter Solberg. This man loves tricky conditions, so both the VWs in, as well as Gulan Schischerit for the GCK team in the Renault Megane. Schischerit in a position to come around the outside. Solberg's possibly in the hardest grid slot in terms of making himself some space. Hansen knows what's at stake here. Hansen hasn't won since 2016. Kristoffersson on the front row with him has won 8 of the last 10. Who's going to get the job done here in Portugal today? Wipers on, green light, go! Oh, massive wheel spin on row 2. Backward, looks like he's gone backwards. Cars go past him. Kristoffersson's got clear whole shot as he passes us. Kristoffersson on the brakes, but who's going around the outside? Hansen's got deep on the brakes. And into, is it Solberg down around the outside? Solberg and Schischerit around the outside, contact there. And somehow from that lot, it's Hansen who comes out in the lead of the 3 who've gone into the Joker lap, and it's Loeb who leads on the standard lap, and Solberg had gone with Loeb, so it was Kristoffersson in the Joker. Apologies, we just could not see in the snow.
No, but a little bit of contact obviously from Loeb with Solberg in the Joker.
Kristoffersson now past Hansen, so Kristoffersson leads from Hansen. Oh, sorry, so it was, yes, it's okay, carry on.
Yeah, Kristoffersson is in the lead. Obviously then Timmy Hansen followed by Andreas Backerud. They all went standard lap. But Sebastian Loeb and Solberg had a little bit of niggle. Nothing too much, just there's so little grip under the cars. A little bit of contact. Solberg got pushed wide and Loeb just snipped up the inside.
Backerud deep on the brakes. You can recognise Backerud's car from the fact that it's got a blue roof on it. That's the spotters in the spotter tower getting covered in snow themselves. So Kristoffersson from Hansen. Kristoffersson is absolutely epic in wet conditions, guy. And for me, he's out front here. He looks to have gapped Hansen a little bit already, but we need to watch that gap back to Loeb, because Loeb, of course, is the first of the 3 drivers who has joked, and it is Sebastian Loeb, in fact, who wins the Monster Energy Supercharge Award as well. That's the fastest reactions at the start, so Loeb getting down to the Joker lap first. Do you think it was a Joker by choice or by tactics? Whoa, to the left, the spin in front of the competition. Somebody's in the wall. It's Hansen. It's Hansen. Hansen's dropped it, and he's dropped down several places. As a result, we saw the car spinning round in the fog that is on your screens. Hansen goes Joker now, and he might as well. So Hansen dips the Peugeot out into the Joker lap. It looks to be relatively unscathed, and anything can happen here. It's not even over. You know, you've just got to keep at it. You don't know what's going to happen in front of you.
Absolutely, it's so tricky. Even if you've got a clear track in front of you for Johan Kristoffersson, he will not be relaxed at all. Look how hard he's fighting and how far the car was off the apex there.
But look at the gap too, and of course now Hansen's dropped it out a second. He's in such a good position. You could consider Joker now to come off the guys behind.
Loeb is the one that's on the money here. This is going to be really tight. It's Backerud that's been dropped out of it. Obviously he's 3.6 behind, hasn't jokered. Loeb has. So let's see where Johan is.
Down at the hairpin, Loeb at the inside of Backerud. So Loeb at the inside of Backerud. He passes him anyway, so Backerud hasn't joked and he's going to go backwards now. Solberg is hunting Backerud down too, so Backerud's looking to drop out. And VW, who started this weekend, have been slowly fighting their way back up. And when have we said that in the last the whole of the last season on board with Backerud? Handbrake, look at this guy.
Yeah, I mean, you can see how hard it is with these conditions, with the wipers going flat out, obviously, and a bit of mud from the car in front. Difficult conditions. You know, we need to be focusing really on Kristoffersson and Loeb. We need to see when Kristoffersson goes for the Joker.
How tight is that gap? There's Bruno Ferman, the boss of Peugeot Sport. The gap's gone up by a tenth. Kristoffersson's gapped him by 1/10 on that lap. 4.2, is it enough to be able to hold on? Kristoffersson is gambling on the fact that he thinks he's got the better pace than Loeb. I was going to say the snow's eased off, but I don't think it has, and you can see that. Andreas Backerud pops the curve. Solberg's right behind him. Solberg knows he's got him. There's no point trying to pass, is there? Now it's one place. Solberg gets a podium if he just holds on.
Yeah, absolutely. He doesn't need to do anything silly, get tangled up with Andreas Backerud, as we've seen cars get tangled up in the semis already.
Tommy Kristoffersson, the world champion's dad. They were very emotional when they won the championship back in Latvia last year. Remember to say, this guy, he's on 10 wins. He's won 8 out of the last 10 events. Could he take number 11 here this weekend? We thought it was Ekstrom who was first to 11 last time
Here
out,
we go.
until he was disqualified. Kristoffersson, though, now fighting for the win. Watch for Loeb on the inside for Peugeot Total. Loeb's going to try and get on the gas and shut the door, but Kristoffersson's done it. Kristoffersson has taken the lead. He's got half a lap to go. Oh, so slippery, but the world champion with the #1 on his car is absolutely showing his class here. We know he's a weapon in the wet. He's fought back all weekend long. The whole team have. They're going to end up with a double podium here, and it's Kristoffersson, who went up to 10 wins last time. He's won 8 out of the last 10 events, and you can now make that 9 out of the last 11. Johan Kristoffersson takes round 2 of the FIA World Rallycross Championship from Montalegre in Portugal. P2 goes to Sebastian Loeb, and P3 to Petter Solberg.
This weekend will not be forgotten for a long time.
I don't know if you noticed that there were flames above the gantry with the Monster Energy branding. The crowd would be happy that may have raised the temperature ever so slightly. It's gone up to 0.2 of a degree, so
it did its job. Can I have a cuddle now, because I'm cold?
Kristoffersson, guy.
Unbelievable. So
Yeah.
he showed, like you said, exactly right. He showed his class.
Yeah.
That was pure class from start to finish.
Brilliant.
I'd like to
we
see
saw him wide in that corner. We saw him wide in a corner, but he did such a brilliant job. I mean, #1 on the car, and you know, how does he do it? You know what he said, didn't he? Audi have outsmarted themselves, but brilliant job, and it is Johan Kristoffersson who takes round 2. Sebastian Loeb gets another podium and the Monster Energy Supercharge Award. Then we've got Petter Solberg in P3, Bakker at P4, Gulan Schischerit is 5th, and then Timmy Hansen down in 6th after that spin. So, wow, great stuff. Sebastian Loeb, that's actually his 2nd P2 in a row, but for Kristoffersson, that is his 2nd win in a row.
To the prize to Johan Kristoffersson, the winner.